Welcome, my dear friends. Hope you are all safe, doing well. The lockdown is extended. Everyone is under some other the pressure, and I know that some of my civil engineers, colleagues, friends are been asked to come on duty, and same to me as well. So definitely there will be little bit slowdown in my video postings, but yes, I will not stop any posting of video, and I will be sharing my knowledge and my experience and data with you. Now, let us start with today's topic. Today's topic will be on formwork, the quality of formwork. We all know the type of formwork required, the shuttering size, the H-beams, all those things are been designed for the specific concrete structure or element, and they will be assembled or arranged as per designed drawings, right? Now, I don't want to elaborate that topic because that is a very vast subject if we go in deep. What I wanted to make you people understand today, or make you people aware today, that what are the common mistakes we do in shuttering or formwork. The very first example is selecting the ply. As a part of project, the contractor or the procurement department always select the laminated plies. But as a QC of procurement, as a quality control on procurement, it's our responsibility or procurement department's responsibility to ensure the manufacturer's recommendation towards repetition of these plies. One. Second, what is the best suitable protection for lamination? When I say protection for lamination, in the sense, when the concreting is done, when you open up the shutter, you can see slurry or concrete has been stick to ply. It doesn't mean that ply has gone rotten or damaged. That means the lamination has gone off and the non-stick has become stick. The non-stick characteristics have gone off. For that, yes, in market we have shuttering removal oil or form removing agent available in the various brands. We can use them, but there are also oil based, water based. There are many things are depending on the geographical condition of usage. And there are nowadays there are even wax coatings are also coming on formwork to increase their repetition time. Now, apart from using a first repetition of the form, we always been forced by our procurement department and other execution senior managements to get the repetitions more than it's recommended. That's the first mistake we do. Okay, and always we get the reason that do the more repetition, and what do you have a issue when you have a shuttering oil or a formwork removal agent with you? Use it properly and make it more repetitions. That's a very wise idea. Very wise idea. Yes, correct. We can do it one or two repetition. We can increase from the recommended repetitions. But are we focusing towards using the entire ply size? No, we always cut it to the suitable dimensions. Next, are we using unpunctured plies, undented plies. No, we always do the puncturing for tie rods, we do the puncturing for nails. Yes, so that is a cause of damages. And from there you can see this picture now. The shutter will starts opening the laminates. The coating has gone already, but because of that laminated ply is nothing but a laminated sheets. The laminated sheet starts open up and it starts rotting from that side or damaging from that end, that edge. So how many repetitions will also make matter, but the repetition will recommended repetitions will go down or reduce based on cutting and handling of plies as well. As a client, as a QC, it is our prime responsibility to ensure the formwork repetitions recommended by manufacturer. Also, try avoiding a cutting of forms unnecessarily and using battens in place of plies. Many times we see a spacer plies for beam used as a waste material cut from that form or shuttering plate itself. But how many times we observe that the thinner spacers you use, you are making a point force where the dent or damage of edges will be more. The chances of dents or damages will be more on the sharp edges. We never focus on that. Use 3 inches, 4 inches battens as a spacers if you really needed to. Think of this. Battens or spacers are being used to avoid shutter coming inside. But when you pour concrete with a planned area in 2 layers or multiple layers, you don't even need a batten, or if it is required you can remove batten on time after say first layer or maybe second layer, or maybe hardly whenever the top 10 mm balance, 100 mm balance. But we don't do that, and we will end up it casting or leaving battens or these plies or spacers inside the concrete, which will tend to force on the edges or on the top edges of the concrete shutter. The another photo I would like to show is, whenever we do repetition, obviously we will be using demolding agent or formwork removal oil or agents. The way we apply makes much important. Do we apply evenly, consistently? See this picture what I am attaching here. The very poor workmanship during application of formwork removal agent will spoil your concrete surface finish. And as I told you, you cannot blame the ply here, because ply repetitions are over. The coating, lamination coating has gone. Your removal agent was not applied properly. Definitely the concrete has stick to that. And now what you will do? You will use scrapers or plates. Either if you are totally focused towards more repetitions, you will use scrapers or slates to remove that concrete stuck, and you will end up in surface finish repairs or rendering repairs on the concrete surface. Using scrapers or slates, you are again scratching the surface of formwork, which will again lead to further damage. You can see the after concrete photo as well. After mismanaging the shutter, you can see the surface of concrete how worst we got. Same way, next comes the formwork mismanagement at column soffits. What in general language or construction language you call it as a gabdi. Especially we will suffer like hell during de-shuttering of these corners. If it is a circle, making a small circle or corner circle is a hell, is a challenge to any formwork supervisor. If it is a corner, definitely there will be a slurry leakage, or it will be not in right angle, or corner will not match with the underneath column corner, it will be either displaced. So are we as responsible engineers, isn't it our duty to check these column soffits or circular areas, corners, before putting the concrete? Yes, it's our prime responsibility to check these corners. Many times, you can see this photo now, many times we see that we don't even get proper cover at the corners of the column, because there is a huge reinforced congestions. Concrete nowadays, in the way of increasing the span of columns, designer has started to introduce more dia of rebars in that, with number of rebars more. So congestions has started more. You cannot bend it properly. Sometimes, whether unknowingly or purposely, I don't want to blame anyone, but unknowingly or purposely, contractors tend to cut them with gas cutting or something, which is again a wrong practice. But yes, that's a practical problems or challenges we face to achieve a good cover or covers. But apart from that, apart from doing such mistakes with reinforcement level, are we getting a good finish because with the formwork? Are we able to get that formwork finish, desired formwork or desired good formwork finish? No, because there are some good practices, there are some common practices, or there are some bad practices. And as a attitude of completion of fast work or early finish, we always forget a good practices, and we always tend to attract towards common practices which are fast and bad practices which are fastest. And when you open it, we have only option left with repair. So today's video, I tried to cover it with very short information, that we as engineers, it is our prime responsibility to ensure the shutter gaps, either it will be on a slab or it is in a column or a corner. Please ensure a proper slurry leak tape when you are extending a column from starter to a next, or from G1 to G2 level, L1 to L2 level. Apart from that, don't do more repetition than recommended by manufacturer. Next, ensure delaminated plies will not be used at site, because they tend to swell once they absorb water from concrete. Try to avoid or plug the tie rod holes well before the concrete. Try to use foam sheets to avoid slurry leakage, and once the slurry leakage happens, your honeycomb will start there, irrespective of your good workability or whatever it is. Ensure proper cover with proper finishes. Ensure good demolding agent or consistent demolding agent applied well before or well on time as recommended by manufacturer, because every brand has their own manufacturing criteria and outputs. Ensure no rust or dust or rainwater is accumulated on demolding agent coated plies or shutters. Avoid any sort of oil, grease on coated shutters. Try to use masking tapes on shutter joints to avoid slurry leakage or unavoidable gaps during manufacturing of those shuttering plates. It happens, right? Grind or remove those advertisement corners, shuttering board manufacturers brand logos. So either you avoid them or you put acrylic paint on that so that it will cover that and it will not come as a embossed on slab bottom. It looks ugly and we will not be promoting to anyone, obviously, so we don't want their names on our slabs. Also, ensure unnecessary spacers, tie rods or any kind of abnormalities will not be available before concreting in the shuttering. Either it will be a beam, column or whatever. Any kind of uncommon materials or unused materials shall not be lying inside the shutter. The most common, another one, the last point which I wanted to highlight here is, I saw we all put slab shutters or slab bottoms first and then we drag our reinforcement, because tower crane will give you the reinforcement bundle unloaded on the slab. Then we drag reinforcement bars for laying. So wrong and worst ever I mentioned practice in the construction industry. It will delaminate, it will remove the coating, it will scratch the coating. So avoid it. Put 2 labor more, lift it and carry it. Next, I saw people put demolding agent first and then you start tying the rebars. Yes, that's a theoretically approved, but is it practical? People walk on that, rain on that, maybe 2 to 3 days delay will happen due to some checkings. So will you get the desired finish on that? Everything will go off. Some of the demolding agent will evaporate with the temperature. What is remained at the end? Again, some of the clients will be knowledgeable friends are there who would insist on putting that again, laying that again. Then contractor will end up in doing double. So build a proper plan and act on that rather than going blindly and wasting your money and national waste. This is all for today. Next time we'll come up with another practical issues at site. Till then, stay tuned, keep watching, keep subscribing, keep messaging below. Bye bye.